Now you're probably looking at me inspecting the edge and picking out spots. Um, when we hold this edge under the light and we roll it back and forth, we are looking for anything along this edge that reflects, any kind of shiny spot. Shiny spots are bad. We're looking for, along the edge, we're looking for any kind of little chipped out little thing, because if you let's say you take your knife and you get down into some bones and you get a little bit of tiny chipping along the edge, we want to bring that new edge to the bottom of the chips so that when we're done we have a perfectly clean edge, right, with no visible little nicks in it. um, they don't hurt, right? You can cut just fine with a knife that has some nicks in the edge, but I don't want to give it back to a customer that way. Any kind of little nick, something that can snag, that's just gonna give it something to catch, and it'll just start chipping more along that edge. So if it was my knife, I'll just sharpen it up every time I use it. But for a customer's knife, like right here, you can't. There's no way you'll see it on the camera, but there is the tiniest little baby chip in here. So I'm gonna take this edge down below that, so you have a nice, smooth, clean edge, nothing that's ever gonna grab on a hide, um, nothing that's gonna give this edge a chance to grab something and take a little fleck out of the edge. So we'll keep going until that is perfect. And again, you're talking about taking 1 or 2 thousandths, 3 thousandths off the edge. This knife will last a lifetime. Don't be worried about that. The question you may have is, what are we looking for as the edge comes across the belt? And right now, hopefully you can see that. You see that burr right there? Those shiny spots? So as the blade is coming across the belt and being abraded, when it gets thin enough, it'll start to raise a burr, just like this. And you want that burr down the entire edge. See where I've got, there it is. Look on the very cutting edge of the blade. Let me see if I can stabilize this. Look on the very cutting edge of the blade and you will see a shiny line. A shiny line that goes all the way down the edge. Now, I'm not talking about the reflection on the cutting bevel. I'm talking about that hairy edge right on the end. We want those little jaggy burrs all the way down the cutting edge. And when we can raise that burr, flip the knife, and watch that burr disappear down the whole edge of the knife. Watch that whole burr come off like little flakes of foil. We know that we have reached a cutting edge on this grit. And then what we're going to do is step up to the next grit and take that burr off and raise a 600 grit burr. And then when we strop that off, it will be shaving sharp. We're going to finish our blade on a leather strop. Yeah, all this is, it's just a strip of leather that I have glued down to a board so that I can chuck it up in my vise. And then I'm going to use some green chrome buffing compound. You get down into this leather here. Don't overthink it. All it is some buffing rouge. And there's our blade. I'm trying to find that burr for you. I doubt I'll be able to pick it up on the camera. You can kind of sort of see a couple little shiny spots, but this whole edge here has a fine burr on it. And what we're going to do is just gently bring this backwards across that leather. Turn this out so you can see what's going on here. Camera can't handle that kind of contrast. But very gently. We don't want to get rough on the edge, but you know, just some firm pressure and just coming backwards. And what that soft leather is going to do is grab that burr and break it off. And the polishing compound is, you know, think of it as an abrasive, but it's a very, very, very fine abrasive. It's going to polish that cutting edge. And this is called stropping. I don't know how old you are, but if you ever went to the barber shop back in the day when they used straight razors, he had what looked like a big leather belt, and he would strop his razor blade on that belt, and it will hone that edge, give you a very, very fine edge. And we will drag your thumbnail backwards across that edge, right? You'll never get cut going that way. But you're looking for anything that will snag your fingernail. And it's not. It is glass smooth. There is no burr. So let's see what we got here. It's just phone book paper. We want to try to cut using the whole edge, because if there's a burr anywhere, it's going to snag. It's going to snag and tear the paper. And try it up by the tip. See that? See how it's snagging? I can't see it, but there's something here catching that paper right in this area. So we're going to spend a little bit of time in that area. Your eyes will fool you, but the performance of the knife will not. If it won't cut that paper cleanly, something is there. Either a tiny little tooth on the edge, little burr, something. Try it again. There we go. There we go. No matter where we touch this edge to the paper, that was me. No matter where we touch this edge to the paper, it cuts. We can cut shapes. Okay. I don't have much hair on my arm. I've never been a hairy guy. Let's see if you can see this. It just wipes the hair off. Just wipes it off. Softer and softer strokes. See how quiet that is now? Hear how quiet that is? How finely we can shave? That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want. That's what we want. Quick check down the blade for any little spot that shouldn't be there. At this point, we're listening. We're feeling for anything that's trying to snag. She's good. She's good. Alrighty. We can give this back to the customer and feel proud of what we've done and confident that we won't see this knife for another year.